Friday night. Her back was to me when she said it. I need the apartment to myself this weekend. Don't ask why. She said it with the same tone she used when ordering coffee. Breezy, practiced, like she'd rehearsed it in her head a dozen times already. She poured a glass of Cabernet, didn't meet my eyes, and let the silence stretch long enough for me to feel the edge of it. I stood there for a beat too long, keys in hand, watching the way her fingers tightened around the stem of the glass. No questions, she said, so I didn't ask any. I packed a bag slowly, not because I needed much, just a change of clothes, charger, a toothbrush, but because I was stalling, trying to decide if this was the kind of silence I could live with. In the end, I didn't say a word, just walked past the bookshelf, reached behind the row of hardcovers, and flicked a switch on the small, silent camera I'd installed after the last time she canceled a trip last minute with a vague excuse and distant eyes. It wasn't about catching anything, not yet. It was about knowing, if you're still listening and any of this feels uncomfortably familiar, hit like and subscribe. Most people just listen in silence, but that one click tells the team these stories matter. The air outside felt colder than it should have. I pulled the door shut behind me and stood in the hallway for a second, hearing the deadbolt click into place. It was her place originally, technically, but my name was on the lease now, half the furniture mine, my clothes in the closet, our life, or at least the appearance of one, scattered across every room. And yet, I walked out like I was a guest overstaying my welcome. I checked into a hotel across town, nothing fancy. Room 308 with a window facing a brick wall and a fridge that hummed louder than it should have. I went for a walk, got a sandwich, and tried not to look at my phone. I didn't text her. I didn't ask how things were. I didn't ask who needed the place alone really meant, because I didn't want to hear her lie. Saturday passed in a blur. I worked out, watched mindless TV, read maybe 10 pages of a book I couldn't follow. My phone stayed face down on the nightstand. Around midnight, I caught myself wondering if maybe she was just stressed, maybe she needed space, maybe, God, I hated that word, maybe I was overthinking, but the knot in my stomach didn't budge. Sunday evening, I packed up my things and headed home early. I didn't text first, didn't knock. I used my key and walked in as quietly as I could. The living room smelled like sandalwood and something sweet, maybe her perfume. The throw blanket on the couch was crumpled. 2 wine glasses sat in the sink. A button-down shirt draped over the back of a chair, not mine. She was asleep in the bedroom. I didn't go in, just stood there for a moment, listening to the soft sound of her breathing, and then stepped back into the living room. Pulled out my tablet, plugged in the external drive, slipped in my headphones. I press play. The footage starts with static, then settles into color. I'm sitting on the edge of the couch, tablet balanced on my thighs, headphones tight against my ears so I don't hear anything but the truth. The timestamp flickers. Friday, 9:46 p.m. She's in the kitchen, barefoot, laughing, not alone. A man's voice, low and familiar in that too comfortable way. Then he steps into frame, hoodie, jeans. He leans over her shoulder, says something I can't quite hear, but she swats at him playfully, and they both laugh again. I watch her pour 2 glasses of wine, same glasses we used on New Year's Eve. He kisses her neck. She doesn't flinch. By 10:12 p.m., he's shirtless, barefoot, and stirring something on the stove. She slides in behind him, arms around his waist like it's the most natural thing in the world. And maybe for them, it is. Maybe it has been for a while. She feeds him a bite, then takes one herself. They dance to no music. She presses her face into his chest. He kisses the top of her head. I pause it there, just for a second. Not because I can't watch, because I need to. I rewind, frame by frame. I want to be sure. The couch scene hits at 10:58. They're curled up under the same gray blanket she once bought just for us. She climbs onto his lap, kisses him, not once, not quick. They laugh between kisses, like this is something they've done before, something they do often. I stare at the screen until the blue light starts to blur my vision. My hands don't shake. I'm past that. I pull out a drive and copy over the file. Not all of it, just 40 seconds, clear enough to show faces, movement, context, not obscene, not dramatic, just honest, just undeniable. I save it with a generic name, Clip427 MP4, then I open a browser, Incognito tab, No history, no breadcrumbs. I register a new account. No name, no hint of me. Upload the clip. Set it to private. Generate a view link. One-time access. Auto-delete after 24 hours. I sit back and stare at the loading circle as it processes. 34 seconds of footage, and it feels like I'm watching a life I didn't realize I wasn't living. I don't confront her. I don't march into the bedroom and wake her with accusations. There's nothing she could say that wouldn't make it worse. I don't want her tears or apologies. I don't want her version. I want the truth. And now I have it. But this video isn't for me. It was never going to be. The moment I saw his face, him, not just anyone, but him, everything else aligned. The Instagram comments, the little hearts, the story tags that disappeared, the same man who, if I'm right, proposed to someone else last fall in Tulum, the same man who wore that navy blue engagement band on his right hand, the one who always looked so proud in those beach photos. Now I'm not thinking about Maya at all. Now I'm thinking about the woman who thinks she's marrying him. His name was easy to find. It always is, when you know what to look for, when you've seen the way someone's arm wraps around a waist they shouldn't be touching, or the way a laugh sounds too familiar in your kitchen. I scrolled through Maya's old tagged posts, the ones she forgot to clean up properly, or maybe never thought she had to. There he was. Same man, same crooked smile, different context entirely. He had a public profile, arrogant or just careless. Photos lined up like a magazine spread, beach shots, matching outfits, golden hour kisses. I kept scrolling. Engagement party in Sonoma, winery backdrop, string lights, dozens of friends cheering, a video of him down on one knee, sand between his toes, the waves crashing behind him. And her, Elise. I paused there. She was radiant in every sense of the word. Effortless beauty, that kind of softness some women are just born with. Floral dresses, sun hats, a golden retriever in half the pictures. Her captions were simple, honest, not curated for followers, just little pieces of a life she believed in, a life she was planning with him. I clicked through to her page. Her bio read, fiancé, designer, wine lover, counting down to 10/22/25. 10/22, that was, 5 months out? Pinned post, a shot of her wedding dress hanging on a vintage rack. Another post showed swatches of flower arrangements laid across a table, one with her and her bridesmaids laughing around a cake-tasting display. All joy, all plans, all made with someone she didn't really know. I opened a blank message, stared at the screen for a long time. What do you even say to a woman like that? I thought about writing something gentle, some kind of explanation, a soft lead-in. But then I saw the photo of her and Maya, 2 summers ago, arms around each other at some rooftop party, smiling, trusting, oblivious. So I didn't say anything at all, just the link. I pasted it in, watched it sit there in the empty message bubble, no name, no preface, no signature, just 34 seconds of quiet betrayal. I hesitated, just for a breath, then hit send. The message marked as delivered. Nothing happened for a few seconds. Then, 32 seconds later, a tiny gray word appeared beneath it. Seen. I waited. No reply, no dots typing, no panicked reaction or follow-up. Just silence. Then came the notifications, not to me. None of this was traceable, but I saw the echo. Maya's phone started buzzing from the bedroom. I didn't get up. She stirred, turned over, grumbled something. Then it rang again. Another ping, then another. She sat up, confused, fumbling in the dark. Her voice, low, irritated. What the hell? I stayed on the couch, eyes on the screen, still logged into Elise's page. Refresh. The beach proposal video was gone. Refresh again. The countdown in her bio disappeared. Another refresh. Her profile photo changed to blank. I sat there, motionless, as a relationship shattered in real time, and for the first time since I saw that footage, I breathed, not out of satisfaction, not revenge, just release, because now, at least, I wasn't the only one who knew the truth. The call comes just after sunrise. I'm sitting on the edge of the bed, still dressed from the night before, my phone on silent, vibrating softly against the blanket. Unknown number. I answer anyway. Her voice is sharp at first, rushed, controlled, then it drops into something raw. Thank you, Elise says. I say nothing, just wait. I knew something was wrong. I didn't want to believe it, but God, the way he started pulling back. The last-minute trips, the stories that didn't add up. She's not crying, just unraveling, quietly. You didn't have to send that, but I'm glad you did. I close my eyes. My jaw tightens. I figured you deserved to know. A breath, then, so did you. The line clicks off after that. No goodbye, no lingering, just silence. I set the phone down. The apartment is still dark except for the sliver of light creeping through the window blinds. I walk into the kitchen and pour a glass of water. My hand brushes against the coffee mug Maya always uses, the one with the chipped rim. I leave it there. By the time she stumbles out of the bedroom, it's almost 9 a.m. Her hair is a mess. Eyes half closed, mascara smudged. She looks hungover on confusion more than alcohol. Her phone's lit up on the charger. 17 missed calls, 3 voicemails, 4 blocked numbers. She blinks at it, frowns, picks it up. Why is Elise calling me? She says it like the name tastes wrong in her mouth. Then she listens to the voicemail. It plays on speaker by accident. Or maybe she's too dazed to notice. Elise's voice is colder this time. Controlled. I know what you did. He's already gone. We canceled everything. Don't bother playing innocent. Maya's head jerks toward me. What the hell did you send her? I don't answer. Just walk past her. She steps in front of me. You're not even going to talk to me? She says, voice rising. You go behind my back, sabotage my life, and you can't even... I don't stop. I walk to the kitchen counter and set the key down, flat beside the mail stack. Her name is on every envelope. Mine's just a ghost at the bottom of the lease now. She follows me, barefoot, breath hitched, hands shaking. You don't understand. That night, it wasn't... He showed up, and I was confused, and I didn't mean... I'm not interested, I say calmly, quietly, like I'm already halfway gone. You can't just leave. I already did. I pick up my bag, walk to the door. Her voice gets smaller. Can't we talk about it? But there's nothing left to say. I've replayed every word we never said for the last 6 months, rewritten our conversations in my head, compromised, believed, waited, until waiting became a way of losing myself. Now, there's no rage, no dramatic fight, no slammed doors, just me stepping out, her standing there in an oversized t-shirt, arms folded tight like they're holding her together. She doesn't follow. And I don't turn back because clarity doesn't come with answers. It comes with stillness. And in that moment, I knew exactly who I was without her. The first thing I did was turn off read receipts. Then I blocked her number, not out of spite, out of necessity. I knew how this would go. The frantic justifications, the circular logic, the weaponized tears. I'd lived through the previews. Now the show was canceled, and I wasn't staying for the reruns. I sat on my couch, my new couch, in a sublet apartment 3 zip codes away, and erased every digital trace of us. I opened our shared playlists, the ones we used on long drives or lazy Sundays, and hit delete, one after another. I scrubbed the photos from my phone, not because I wanted to forget, but because I refused to keep evidence of something that had already rotted. She noticed the silence before I expected her to. The first text came from a number with no name. Hey, it's me, we need to talk. Blocked. Then another with just a sad emoji. Then, please, can we just explain? Then, it wasn't what it looked like. You don't know the whole story. Then, you're being so cruel. Each message tried a different tone. Guilt, nostalgia, confusion, then anger, then panic. Like throwing darts at a board, hoping one would land. But they were all air. They never reached me. I didn't read them in full. I just blocked. I didn't post anything. Didn't announce the breakup. No cryptic captions, no curated grief. I wasn't interested in theater, but silence is loud when someone's used to your presence. I watched from a distance, quietly, how the impact rippled. Elise's page vanished first, not deactivated, not erased, just emptied. The photos were pulled, engagement shots gone, videos muted, posts archived, her smiling face replaced by a blank icon. Her bio now read, "That's it, just a period," as if to say, "I'm still here, but you don't get to see me." Then the ripple reached the groom's side. I saw his sister's post disappear. The RSVP comment thread removed. Their cousin, who'd posted that cheesy, "can't wait to welcome Elise to the family," took it down. The countdown banner? Gone. The wedding website? Disabled. It was like someone had yanked the cord out of a running projector mid-scene, the whole image gone, the room left in stunned darkness. Maya, meanwhile, wasn't doing well in the dark. A mutual friend texted me, cautiously. She says she's losing her mind. Says she doesn't know where you went. I didn't answer. Because I didn't go anywhere, I just stopped being reachable. It's a strange thing. Vanishing from someone's life without spectacle, no argument, no closing scene, just silence so clean it echoes. I imagined her scrolling through old threads, looking for some sign I might still be watching, some soft place to land, but all she'd find was empty space, and you can't fix what you can't even touch. The first whisper came through a group text I'd forgotten to leave. Anyone seen them lately? One of our mutual friends asked. Casual, light, the kind of message people send when silence stretches too long and starts to sound like something breaking. Someone else chimed in. Maya said she's going through something, said she's worried about her girlfriend, said she just vanished. I read it once, twice. Girlfriend. Vanished. I didn't reply. Maya was spinning a story, of course. She always had a way with tone, with twisting events into something soft-edged and palatable. To them, she was the one left behind. I was the unstable one, the overthinker, the sensitive one who took things too far. She was giving me space. I needed help. It would have worked, maybe, would have held, if not for the clip. I never sent it to anyone else. Not directly, but files have a way of floating when there's friction in the air. I'd uploaded it to a private link, yes, but someone, Elise most likely, had shared it with a single trusted person. And that person made their own decision, quietly, deliberately. I don't know who sent it to Sarah, but I know Sarah was the first to forward it. The subject line just read, "You should see this." Within hours, the group chat fell silent. No one tagged Maya in posts anymore. Her mentions dried up. Her curated feed, the one filled with morning lattes, sponsored yoga mats, unboxing reels, and color-coded shelves, lost traction. I watched as her latest collab went from 500 likes per hour to nothing, just a graveyard of silence and one-word comments. Wow, damn, seriously. A week later, I checked the brand's page she used to feature. Her profile had vanished from their list of partners. I imagined her seeing that and wondering when the knife slid in, wondering who knew what, wondering how much of her version had unraveled. But I didn't gloat, didn't smile, didn't do anything. I was never going to bury her. She just ran out of room to cover the truth. Meanwhile, Elise made no statements, no interviews, no cathartic Instagram reel with sad music playing over B-roll. She posted one photo. No filter, just a hardwood table, faintly scratched, and her engagement ring sitting dead center. Off to the right, the apartment door, wide open, a shaft of sunlight cutting through it. The caption was one word, unreturned. That was all. And yet, it said everything. It told the story I never had to narrate. It explained what happened better than any apology Maya could have forced, better than any defense she might try to stage later. Because when truth leaks, it doesn't come with sirens. It comes in stillness. A phone that doesn't buzz anymore, an invite that never arrives, an inbox with nothing but receipts, and by then it's too late to steer the ship. Maya had played her part too well, lied too easily, performed too convincingly. Now the audience had turned, and I didn't have to lift a finger. She caught me between sets. I'd just racked the barbell when I saw her through the mirror, standing near the water station, oversized sunglasses on, despite the dim lighting, hair pulled back like she was pretending this wasn't a mission, not a performance, like she just happened to be here. But the tremble in her hands gave her away. So did the way she kept glancing at the door, like she wasn't sure if she wanted me to leave or beg her to stay. "Maya," I said without looking at her. She stepped closer. "Can we talk? Just 5 minutes." I didn't move, just wiped down the bench and stood. I could smell her perfume, faint vanilla, familiar, intrusive now. "Please," she added, softer this time. "Let's at least explain it to people together. Get ahead of the story. You can say it was mutual, that we drifted. They'll believe you." She was holding out her phone, screen lit, notes app open, like she'd already drafted the narrative, and all I had to do was play my part. And again, I looked straight ahead, past her, through her, then I walked past the treadmill line, past the stretching mats, straight into the locker room without a word. I didn't need to speak. My silence had more weight than any lie she could script. By the time I left the gym, her car was gone. That night, she went live. I didn't watch it right away. I didn't have to. Screenshots found their way to me before the hour was up. Friends, strangers, some out of concern, some just watching the implosion. She sat cross-legged on the floor, mascara smudged, lips trembling, voice catching every third sentence. She didn't say my name once. She apologized to the people she disappointed, to the brands and communities who believed in her, to everyone who feels hurt by recent events. Not to me, never to me. She said she was going through a dark time, that she lost herself, that people forget influencers are human. She cried when she mentioned Elise, but only in passing, and only after saying, I never meant for it to get that far. The comments were a split sea, a few soft ones. Everyone makes mistakes. You're still human, sending love, but most weren't kind. You used her. You lied to all of us. You're only sorry now that you lost everything. Some brought receipts, time-stamped photos, old captions, an Instagram live where she'd praised honesty in relationships, not 2 weeks before it all went down. And still, I said nothing. No statement, no counterpost, no subtweets. I didn't need to claw back control, because I'd never wanted control. I wanted out, and the only way out was to disappear so completely. Her words echoed into nothing. She wanted redemption. She wanted to drag me back into the script so she could cry at the right beats, smile at the end, thank me for being gracious. But she couldn't reach me anymore. She wasn't holding a phone. She was clutching a spotlight with no stage. It had been quiet for months. No texts, no block number attempts, no fake profiles trying to follow me, just silence. Exactly what I wanted. I'd built a clean rhythm. Work, books, gym, sleep. I didn't post. I didn't watch her. I didn't even hear her name anymore unless someone slipped up and said it like it was still relevant. Then came the live stream. I wasn't even supposed to be in it. I was just attending quietly in the back. A small nod from a startup I'd helped stabilize during their early days. They were being acquired now. Mid-8 figures. Big win. I wore a black blazer, sat near the edge of the crowd, clapped when appropriate, and then the founder called me out. Special thanks to the consultant who helped us pivot during Q3. We wouldn't be here without her. Camera turned. I looked up, nodded, smiled politely. Just 3 seconds, that's all. But it was enough. That clip apparently made it to LinkedIn, then to tech blogs, then to a repost by someone we once knew, and through the algorithm, through whatever twisted orbit the internet keeps, it landed in front of her. Maya. She messaged me 2 days later. The notification came in on my filtered inbox. I almost deleted it unread, but the preview caught me. You're thriving after all that? No, how are you? No, I'm sorry, just disbelief. Like the idea of me living well, moving on, succeeding was somehow offensive. I didn't reply, but something about the message stayed with me. It wasn't just the arrogance, it was the assumption that she still lived in my head, rent-free, that my silence meant I was broken, that absence meant failure. So I sent her a package, not cruel, not dramatic, just one simple envelope, no return address. Inside, a single photo, me and Elise outside a cafe, paper cups in hand, no filters, no poses, just a real moment. I'm smiling. She's mid-laugh. Sunlight catches the corner of her glasses. We looked good. On the bottom of the photo, printed in quiet gray type, we met, we talked, we're fine, no signature, no letter. I never told anyone I sent it. I don't know what she did when she opened it. Maybe she stared at it in silence. Maybe she tore it up. Maybe she Googled the cafe, zoomed in on the background, tried to find clues, or maybe, just maybe, she finally understood. The two people she betrayed had nothing in common until her, but now we shared the one thing that lasted, truth. And she was the only one not invited. The call came in just past midnight. No ID, no name. Just the quiet pulse of a number I didn't recognize, but one I somehow still knew. I watched it buzz across the screen twice before answering, not out of impulse, but intention. I'd been waiting, in a way, not hoping but knowing this would come. It always does. There was a breath first, then her voice. Maya, she said, like I might not know. I didn't say anything. I saw the photo, she said quietly. You and Elise. Still, I said nothing. Then the question, low and tight, like it had been echoing inside her all day. Why her? Why talk to her? I let the silence stretch. I wanted her to sit in it. Then calmly, because she was lied to just like me, and she didn't excuse it. I heard the shift in her breathing, like the words had found a bruise she'd tried to forget was there. Maya started, then stopped. You two aren't even the same. She didn't lose you like I did. No, I said, quiet. She just never thought she owned me. More silence. Then the real question, the one beneath the others, the one that made her call in the dark after the image had settled and the jealousy started to rot. So what now? I leaned back in my chair, stared out the window at nothing. The city was asleep. The world was still. Now, I said, you live with it like I had to for weeks, while you danced barefoot in my home, while you kissed him in the kitchen, while you made plans in a bed that was supposed to be ours. I could feel her unraveling through the line, not loud, just quietly coming apart in the way only guilt can do, when you finally realize the silence on the other end isn't emptiness, it's absence. You think I don't regret it? She asked, voice cracking. You think I haven't been breaking every day since you left? I didn't answer. Not because I didn't believe her, but because it didn't matter anymore. Regret is a currency only the innocent can spend. You won't even talk to me, she said, small. Won't give me a chance to explain. I already saw the explanation, I said. It had a timestamp. She exhaled sharply, like I'd hit her without raising my voice. You're cold. No, I said. I'm done. I let that sit there for a moment. Then I hung up. No fury, no flourish, just one final disconnection, and for the first time since that weekend, since I walked out with a bag and a camera still blinking on the shelf, I felt clean. She tried one last time to rewrite the ending. It started as a blog post, my side of the story, a long rambling piece about love, pressure, mistakes. She painted herself as confused, overwhelmed, emotionally neglected, claimed there were layers people didn't see, that relationships are never just black and white, and she didn't name me directly, she didn't have to. Anyone who knew what happened, who'd seen the ripple of it all, could read between the carefully chosen lines. The problem was her story had holes, big ones, because no matter how many metaphors she dressed it in, storms, seasons, healing, the clip existed. 34 seconds, one camera, her hand on his chest, his mouth on hers, the way they laughed in my living room like it was already theirs. That clip had no narration, no filter, just facts, and facts don't flinch when questioned. People saw through it. The comments under her post weren't kind. You didn't lose her, you broke her. I was rooting for you until I saw the video. There's always someone who says it wasn't what it looked like, but it never isn't. She deleted it within a day. Tried again a week later. A podcast interview, soft music, practice vulnerability. The host threw her softball questions. She wept at the right moments. Spoke about the betrayal of being misunderstood. She even said my name once, quietly, like it was something sacred and ruined. That episode got pulled after someone shared the clip again. It had taken on a life of its own by then. Anonymous accounts reposted it. Reaction videos surfaced. Threads unraveled the timeline. It didn't matter what she said. The truth had its own voice now. Calm, silent, undeniable. Then she sent me one last message. It came late, weeks after the podcast fell apart. Just one line. Please, one last conversation. I stared at it for a long time, and then I typed my final response. This was never about revenge. It was about truth. I hit send. Then I opened her contact. Blocked. Permanently. No second guessing. No looking back. No need to see what came after, because there was nothing left for her to reach. I walked to the window, opened it. The wind smelled clean. Somewhere down the block, a dog barked. A car door slammed. A new story was starting, One I didn't need to control, one that didn't include her name. It wasn't rage that ended this, it was restraint, and it was enough.